Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to another Through the Bible episode. This one I kind of could call like a recap. Basically, I just got back from church. It's Sunday, and I figured I'd do this for all you out there who didn't go to church today. It's not judgmental, but you hear something, you get inspired, you want to share it. So here's the recap. I can basically just I could go verbatim out of my notes, or kind of just give it to you as it was given to me in church. But also let me also do this. I'll start it with a story. Actually, we'll just go off of what it was here. First of all, it was titled First and the Best. But he talked about, who wants to be rich in this world. Raise your hand if you want to be rich. Of course, people are in church, not supposed to appear greedy, so not everybody raises their hand. It's like, welcome to church, half of you told the truth. And, people raise their hand, they want to be rich. And then he went over a verse in the Bible, in Ecclesiastes, that said, and I'll summarize this verse, but it's basically the gift of God to eat your food, to drink, and enjoy, your wife and your family. It's a gift of God to enjoy the work of your hands. So it's not an evil thing to have possessions. And he said, who wants to be rich? And he said, you are rich if. And he did basically there was a census or whatever, a fact that says, if you make over $33,000 a year, you're in the top 1% of the world's wealth. Because it's all perspective, right? You look at America, we are pretty wealthy in comparison to many other areas. And then if you make over $80,000 a year, you are in the 0.1%. So we really are rich materially here in America. But of course, it just screams out loud to me the book of Revelation, where it said, you think you're rich, but you're clothed in rags. You think you have possessions, but you don't. You're completely destitute. And Jesus said, buy true riches from me, because the riches you have will turn to rags. They're just dust. And we know that these material possessions, they fade out. And that's basically the point he got to in the end. But I remember a story from the Pilgrim's Progress about John. The pilgrim walked in and he looked and he saw there were two girls sitting there. One was Patience and one was called Passion. And basically, Passion got just loaded with gems and gold and all this stuff, while Patience just sitting there patiently, no pun intended. And Passion is just reaping on the gold and the jewels and everything, and it's awesome. And then all of a sudden, all of the gold and jewels turn to rust and dust, and the wind blows them away. And then all of a sudden, Patience is given this beautiful crown and this scepter and this robe, and it just lasts forever. And everything Passion had went away. And that's the good point of this parable. It's very obvious that you can be very passionate and build up a ton of wealth and greed, but it's going to pass away someday. So you got to go to the real riches, family, God, and all that. And Jesus got into a parable about using your earthly wealth for good. But so there was that portion of it. But the other one that I really liked, and it shows that Jesus kind of commends hard work and shrewdness as a good thing. And what it was is he said a story about there was a manager of a very rich person's assets. And the rich person began to think, this guy's not managing my stuff. You better get a log. I want to see an account of everything you've done, because you're about to get fired. So this person, being shrewd, said, man, I'm too weak to go dig ditches, and I'm too proud to beg. So I know what I'll do. I'll go meet with all of my manager's people, and I'll try to settle debts and at least get something so that they'll know they'll be friends with me. When he fires me, I'll at least have some friends. So he goes to one guy. He's like, how much do you owe? Well, I owe 100 gallons of olive oil. He goes, just make it out for 50 and that's it. And the guy's like, all right, thank you. Here you go. Awesome. Then he goes to another one. How much do you owe? I owe 100 bushels of wheat. All right, we'll just do 80% of that. So the guy's great. Awesome. So at least he has 80%. And then it says that the rich business owner called him and said, great job. At least you were shrewd. At least you did something with what you had. And sort of the point I get from that is a lot of times in your life, you could get frozen up with fear and not do anything. Or you could at least move and do something. And Christ went on to say that the people of this world are more shrewd in their business dealings than the sons of light are with their stuff. And I mean, that can kind of be interpreted many different ways. I mean, he was talking to the children of Israel at the time, and he's saying, and then he went on to tell them, he goes, you need to make friends with these people, so when you're cast out, at least you can have their homes to go into. That can be taken many ways. It could be taken that you guys are, you're about, you're going to get cast out of this land. At least do something good with these people so someone can be friends with you. The minister kind of went at it this way. And I mean, there's a good analogy here that we're all given a limited amount of time on this world with a limited amount of resources. That bookkeeper had a limited amount of time and a limited amount of resources, but he did something with it. And that's what kind of the trumpet sound went out for this message was, we're all giving a limited time of life. Yeah. I guess that's where that one's going to end.